Good morning everybody, and welcome to our flight this morning, shortish flight this morning from Palma, Mallorca, not Malaga, as the stream initially said, so my apologies for that. Palma, Mallorca to Zurich. Not the longest flight that we have ever done, but it does mean that I will probably be here on voice with you for the majority of it, so that's something to help put you to sleep. And there will then also be a stream later on this evening as well. So we've got two streams today, shortish one this morning, shortish one tonight. So get the best of both worlds. Great to see you all in the chat room. Let's start getting you guys on board and let's start setting up our aircraft. Okay, so jetway is already connected. We can start coming through. Let me guys grab you the operational flight plan and the current meta. Paul, thank you very much for the donation, mate, so early on in the stream as well. Big thumbs up to you, and that is really appreciated. Right, where's my meta gone? There we go. So let's get you a copy of the meta. Beautiful weather here in Mallorca this morning. And let's also get you a copy of the operational flight plan as well, for those of you that want to follow things along, see how we're doing. There we go. Alright, and a little bit of company here on the apron. What I really like about this Palma scenery is, check this out, right? So you've actually got the coordinates on the gate stands, which is part of your gross check. Make sure that your GPS and the NADIAs are set up correctly. So yeah, that's really neat. Lovely to have. Flag Simmer, this is real live weather. So hopefully we'll get some decent weather en route. I think the weather's looking good in Zurich as well, so that's really nice. Jimmy, welcome to the First Officers Club, my friend. Thank you for joining the channel. Okay, so let's just get some power to the aircraft. Let's call the ground services. Where are they? Palma ground. Let's get that power supply, please. Good morning, HD.
Airbus Golf, Echo Zulu Golf Sierra, could you please send a ground power unit?
Airbus Golf, Echo Zulu Golf Sierra, ground power unit is on the road.
Ground power unit's coming. We'll also get the catering
Airbus
service
Golf,
and the baggage loaded
Echo Zulu
as well.
Golf Sierra, could you please send the catering truck?
Airbus Golf, Echo Zulu Golf Sierra.
Yeah, so we should have some nice views, Christian, today, particularly coming into Zurich.
Palma ground Airbus Golf, Echo Zulu Golf Sierra, could you please send the baggage?
Airbus Golf, Echo Zulu Golf Sierra, baggage is on the way.
So just start doing our cockpit prep. Okay, and we don't want to start the APU just yet. Mallorca don't like noise, so we'll keep that off for the time being. Fire engine 1, fire test engine 2, and oh, didn't mean to open that. I have no idea how we close that now. Oh, there we go. The last thing I wanted to do was click fire suppressant. It would have been a very short flight. Yeah, HD, you can now let them know how many ruler yards we used. Oh, Christian, good to hear about the cat. Very good to hear about the cat. After this little scrap, was it? Did you say with one of the neighbours' cats? All right, let's start getting some passengers on board from self-loading cargo. Start the flight. HD, yeah, triple click comes through, quite nice.
Cabin crew, yeah, we've completed the checks, so now you can open the doors and start getting the passengers.
Speaking of some of the sounds, I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday,
okay,
but
no
self-loading cargo, fly-by-wire, are now bringing in a audio panel for the, I don't know if they're putting it in the McDo or whether they're popping it into the fly pad, but basically you've got the option of raising and lowering the different volumes, the winds, the PTU, so your darking bog will come back if you want it. Darking bog? Barking doggy will come back if you want it, as well as engine sounds and things like that. So that is on its way. We might even test that tonight. Fin, rotating beacon lights come on just before pushing back an engine start, and they come back off when your engine N1 power is below 10%. So let's just pull in our information from SimBrief. Have a look at this, guys, as well. They've changed the font. Don't know if you can see that. They've changed the font in the McDo as well. HD, can you recall if that is more realistic or not from what it was previously? Right, A2 AOC. Right, HD. In that case, that triple click didn't happen yesterday. That would have alerted me to something, wouldn't it? Not yesterday, I think it was the day before, but yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so init press. Let's pull this information in. There we go, 1 hour 36 minutes in the flight from Parma to Zurich. Let's have a look at our weights and balances. This is quite nice, this new font, I like it. Getting excited by a new font. That's the way we roll. Okay, so operational flight plan 5734. That is correct for our block fuel. Let's get that loaded in. And the payload 15704. 151 passengers today, 15704, so not too heavy either. Zero fuel weight 56.7, which is accurate on the flight plan. So let's get that loaded. Fuel is now loaded and payloads are popped in. Let's continue with our checks. So now the fuel truck has finished doing what it needs to do. We can get those seatbelt signs on and we'll turn on the fuel pumps. Make sure the signs are also turned on in self-loading cargo as well. I'm hoping when self-loading cargo release the updates that the seatbelt signs will actually link up. At the moment you have to do them twice. How come they took the barking dog out? Tom, I honestly don't know, but that option is coming back. So if you prefer to see it, then prefer to hear it rather, then it will be it'll be there for you. All right, let's start setting some of these panels up. Increase the brightness. QNH 1033. Nice to be back using hectopascals today. 1033. Such high pressure over Europe at the minute. There we go. Okay, clock is the correct time. Anti-skid is on. Check the pedestal. When I came in here this morning, one of the kids had been playing with the thrust levers, so they were up there somewhere. So always worth doing these checks. And everything looks good down here. So glare shield. Set the QNH altimeter 1033 set and cross check flight directors coming on 1 and 2. And our initial climb altitude today is 5,000, so that's all set as well. What we've got on the transponder HD, we'll zoom in there, can you guys see that? Okay, so let's get the panels turned up. The main instrument panels, it is still lightning. Joshua, I am on the VATSIM network, so if you're not in the VATSIM network, I'm afraid you won't see me. first officer panel's off. Can we turn that on? Oh, we can turn that on. Why does that automatically then turn the transponder, however, then to from standby to auto? Can we flick that back? There's a bit of a bug. So we can. Oh, I'm moving the flaps now. Forget that. Right, so it should be there. That's better. Don't know why it also changed the transponder to on, but there you go. Alright. ILS alignment in 1 minute. Let's come back and start doing our setup down here then, shall we? So, aircraft status. Check we've got the correct air AX title. We do. That is only valid until tomorrow. Let's come down to our init A then and start pulling our stuff in. So this has all been pulled in now automatically from SimBrief. Didn't quite work that time, so let's just clear the scratch pad. Init request again. There we go. That's come through nicely now. So the alternate today, Echo Delta Delta Fox. Echo Delta Delta Fox. Dusseldorf, isn't it? That I think. Not in database. I'm sure it is. Echo Delta Delta Fox. There we go. And the flight number, my usual today, as this is not a real world flight taking place. 34 Alpha Mike. Cost index of 8. And the cruise flight level is 340. Minus 57. Let's just change that. 340 and minus 57. The tropo is not too far out today, but enough to make a little difference. A couple of thousand feet difference. 34700. Did I say Dusseldorf? Fair enough. Frankfurt. I did think when it was Dusseldorf, oh, that's not anywhere near Zurich, but I don't claim to be absolutely perfect on my ICAO codes. So there we go, the tropo's now in and our cruise flight level is in as well. HD, I don't think that works yet. I have tried it in the past. Can we just try that? Let's just change it to 60, shall we? Oh, they have it. Excellent, they've edited it, so I don't have to type the full thing in anymore. That didn't used to work. That needs to be minus. Don't forget the minus sign. Oh, that's quite a nice, neat touch. Alright, so there is our init A setup. Now, what I was saying about checking the position, you can now come here, have a look at the IRS. And there's your position, 39330. And if we just have a look here, you should find that they match up. So 39331, close enough, and east 2438, east 2438, bang on. So that's a great little touch here that we've got at the Palma scenery, which I presume is there in real life. Can't say I've ever been on the ramp in real life at Palma. HD you have, so can you remember if the coordinates are showing? Okay, let's have a look at the flight plan. Let's have a look. We're departing. Palma is currently using runway 24 right at the moment for departures. I think there's hardly any wind there. Cheers HD, so that's really good to know. And it's the Meadows 3 Alpha departure. Just double checking the coding of that, because obviously there are two very similar. Make sure you get the Meadows 3 Alpha when you're putting that in. There we go. Let's insert that. Pitux Zura, that is correct. So then let's have a look at our planned arrival at the moment. Zurich is using runway 14, so we have to fly north and make the approach back down. So ILS runway 14. Paradox, the flaps bug is still in the experimental version. Well, as far as I know, I've updated it this morning, so I guess we'll find out when we arrive in Zurich in a couple of hours' time. So this is the Dopil 1 Golf. Dopil 1 Golf. Oh, flight simulator, there's nothing more annoying than that. The key is now to try and find out where the error was. So the Dopil 1 Golf arrival comes in from, we want to go, what are the options? Miki, Gippo and Relax. I think it's grabbing these charts. I like how we've got a waypoint called Relax. It'll be Gippo. Gippo. There we go. Let's get that inserted. So, gross air check, distance 650 miles in the navigation database, and the operational flight plan 643 miles. So I'm happy with 7 miles difference. That's good enough for me. Once we've got that in and the ideas aligned, if they have, then we'll have a look what the plan looks like for our route. Always worth doing here in Flight Sim 2020 is we get some deft navigation routes, don't we? Okay, so that departure looks as I expected, and then let's have a look what it appears to show us on the arrival into Zurich. Okay, so that's actually giving us a published arrival, which is essentially go from Gippo, fly over the airport, and then do the loop back around. So we can probably look at doing something completely different to that. Let's just have a look and see if we can put in a different veer. So it is still the ILS runway 14, and it is the Dopil 1 Golf. And should be via Gippo. Should be via Gippo, and then from there we would most likely in real life, of course, get vectors. Let's have a look and try instead. I'm trying to find these on the charts, guys. So Relax is north of the airfield. Let's try see what Amiki gives us. So Amiki is from the east. Either way, I reckon they are all going to tell us to fly the published approach over the actual aerodrome. So that doesn't look great either. Let me try having a look at Relax. That looks slightly better, so I'm going to code that one in. That one does look better, as that appears to come in direct. Let me just insert that and then do the plan check and try that. Scroll the way through. That appears to be coded in better, doesn't it? We've got that little loop to the north, but at least we're not having to overfly the airport and then teardrop back out. So there you can see the approach coded in just there. What we would really do, or I imagine ATC would do, is from Gippo, which is where we do go via on the Star, is then we'd probably get a heading direct easterly to then come in and join the IPS rather than the ILS, and rather than going all the way up north and back down. But we can have a look at that in flight, and as long as we maintain terrain clearance, and the weather is very, very good as well, so we should be VMC hopefully. We may look at doing that. Anyway, we can leave that there, we'll leave that coded in there then for now, as that seems like the most logical approach there. HD, if you want to check that later in the flight, that'd be good. Unfortunately, they're the only ones that I've got here in the sim. Okay, so let's come down now to the RadNav page. And what I need to put in for our departure, we need to pop in the Mallorca. Is it the Mallorca or is it the... oh no, it's the Palma Son San Joan VOR, which is Juliet Oscar Alpha. Pop that in 117.7. And I think that's the only one we actually need for our departure and distances. So there's the RadNav page sorted. Let's come over to the fuel planning then. Won't be long before our passengers are all on board. So the zero fuel weight then for this. Let's have a look. Zero fuel weight. Has air traffic control come on? Of course they have. We'll screw everything that I've just coded in up. Let's have a look. The zero fuel weight is 56.7. 56.7. Let's take our standard centre of gravity in. Trip wind is tailwind 13. And fuel planning. So OFP says 5.7, aircraft says 5.6. What have we actually got loaded? We've got 5.6. I'm happy to take that. So confirm that block fuel. Okay, now we're getting much closer to our departure time. Let's start that APU. 1, 2, 3. Right, so LEPA-LSZH has come on and they are using arrival runway 06 left and 06 right for departures. That's a pain. Do you know what? I'm going to be really cheeky. 118.3. There's also 118.3. I'm going to be cheeky and ask them if I can change that. As of half an hour ago, the real airport was using runway 24.
Good morning, Easyjetsimpilot ascent 18 with information Alpha requesting clearance to Zurich.
EC854, good evening. Alpha is correct. 1 second. Clear for destination as pilot departure, Meadows 6 Bravo, active runways 06 right, initial altitude 6,000 feet, and please squawk 6254.
Squawk 6214, initial climb 6,000 feet, departure Meadows 6 Bravo, on runway 06 left, Easyjetsimpilot.
We could just change the runway and change the circuit. To be fair, it would actually speed up as we're now going straight out and then we're heading the right direction, aren't we?
Squawk 6254 and
so I'm going to get our new cruise and then we need to go back into our performance page. We've not yet done that.
EC854, feedback is correct, turning ready for boost one startup.
Palmer, good morning, Easy34 Alpha Mike, stand 22, we're at type A320neo requesting IFR clear to Zurich as planned. Current QNH we have 1033.
EC34 Alpha Mike, good morning, clear for destination as follows. Departure Meadows 6 Bravo, initial altitude 6,000 feet, active runways 06 right, and please squawk 6251.
Squawk 6251, and could we request a 06 left departure for 34 Alpha Mike?
EC34 Alpha Mike, on Palma, the runway 06 left is for landing on this config, and 06 right for departures, but if you want, you can departure via 06 left.
If we can take 06 left on this occasion, that would be lovely, thank you. And which standard instrument departure would you like us to use?
EC34 Alpha Mike, take me 1 minute, sorry.
Roger. Just saves the taxi time rather than going to the other side of the airport.
EC34 Alpha Mike, 06 left, Meadows to Lima.
Departure via runway 6 left and the Meros to Lima for Easy 34 Alpha Mike. Thank you very much.
34 Alpha Mike, feedback is correct.
Okay, let's change that. So, 06 left, and it is the...
From the Mallorca, Easyjet could be request 06 left too.
Easy854, yeah, no problem. Take me 1 second.
Okay, just need to grab some new charts for this now.
Easy854, Meros to Lima, runway 06 left.
Meros to Lima, runway 06 left. Thank you very much, Easyjet.
Standard departure, Meros to Lima. There we go. Hey, if you don't ask, you don't get, right? Initial climb now is 4,000 feet.
Good morning, York Tower, Speedbird 464 with you, type A320, requesting clearance to Zurich as filed.
Straight out departure,
Speedbird
so that's quite nice.
464, good evening. Clear for destination as far as departure. Meros 6 Bravo, runway 06 right, initial altitude 6,000 feet. Squawk 6252.
Okay. So, I
Meros
just
6
need to do some
Alpha, 06 right,
recalculating.
initial altitude 6,000, then squawking 6252, Speedbird 464.
06 left.
Speedbird 464, readback is correct.
Flight temp is still the same. Okay,
Hello,
so let's
Tower,
crack on
good
with
morning.
this.
Speedbird 940,
Transition
type
altitude
A320 Neo at
6,000.
stand 38. Request IFR clearance as
That's
filed
one.
to Zurich, and we have information Alpha.
And
Speedbird 940 Alpha is
Flight temp
correct.
is
Clear for
68.
destination as far as departure. Meros 6 Bravo, initial altitude 6,000 feet. Runway 06 right, and please squawk 6253.
now the thrust reduction here
Cleared
in
a file,
the,
Meryl
in the
6
charts
Alpha, departure
actually
runway
tells us to
06
reduce our
right,
climb
and
thrust
squawk
to
6253,
2,900
Speedbird 940.
feet
Speedbird 940 readback is correct.
and maintain
America
As quick a
Tower,
climb
good
as possible.
morning. Skyway 5556 requesting clearance to Zurich. Gate 84, type A320 Neo.
Skyway 5556, good morning, clear for destination as far as departure.
Alright, I think
Meros
everybody
6
is now
Bravo,
on
runway
board.
06 right. Initial altitude 6,000 feet and squawk is 6250.
doors are closed.
Cleared Maro 6A departure,
Jetway is
06 right, cleared to 6,000 feet and squawking 6250 for Skyway 5556.
Skyway 5556 readback is correct.
Oh, I just need to add in the Easyjet Simpilot. There we go. Let's get this coded in. And hopefully now I can pull the information through from SimBrief. That's all sorted. Right, so that's delayed our takeoff a little bit. I need to haul ass out of here. I really do. I need to be out. I was doing a short flight this morning because I don't have as much time as I normally do today. Okay, so departure briefing then. Departure briefing. Transition altitude is already set 6,000 feet. Initial climb out is 4,000 feet. Minimum safe altitude for our departure is 3,000 feet. And our thrust reduction is slightly higher than normal, 2,900 feet, so to be aware of that. QNH set 1033, and the departure is essentially a straight out departure, so that's quite nice now. Alright, so the before start checklist, cockpit preparation is complete, signs are on at auto, the gears are aligned, and set. Fuel quantity is loaded and balanced. Double check that. Yep. Flight management guidance was all coded in and our temperatures both set and cross-checked. HD, okay, I'll obviously go with you, so I'll change those. However, once I'm out of here, I'll find that chart so you can check it for me. Okay, so that's actually nicer. Alright, so let's get our pushback clearance. Get those doors closed as well.
Cabin crew, please arm doors and cross-check. Ladies and gentlemen, hello from flight deck. My name is Gavin and I'm your captain today, and I'd like to welcome you on board this Easyjet A320neo aircraft. We're not expecting any delays, we're going to get pushing back pretty soon. The guys on the ground have just popped the last of the luggage away, so if you can assist the cabin crew in getting yourself sat down, seatbelts on, everything fastened, and give them your full attention throughout the safety briefing, and we'll get going as soon as possible. Once again, thank you for choosing Easyjet, and we hope you enjoy the flight today.
Alright, so let's get our pushback clearance. Easy 34 Alpha Mike stand 22 is ready for push and start.
Easy 34 Alpha Mike, pushback and startup is approved, facing west.
Pushback start approved, facing west. Easy 34 Alpha Mike. Right, let's get rotating beacon light is now on.
Mark Tower, speedbird 940, stand 38 is ready for push and start.
The speeds are 940, pushback and startup is approved, facing east.
Transponder to auto.
Push and start approved, facing east, speedbird
Parking
940.
on, thrust levers to idle. Windows and doors.
Mallorca Tower,
Closed and
Skyways,
armed.
5556 ready for
Rotating
push and
beacon on.
start,
Full
and with your
off.
approval,
Parking brake
I'll
on.
extend my pushback to give Speedbird 464 some room.
Let's get ready to move, shall we? So, releasing the parking brakes.
Sky Travel 55556, yeah, of course, pushback and startup is approved, facing
APU
south.
bleed coming on, and reverse.
Push and start approved, Skyways, 5556.
And Speedbird 464 ready for push and start.
Engine mode select to
The
ignition.
speeds were
Starting
464,
engine one.
pushback and startup is approved, facing south. Caution with another traffic on the front 84, doing pushback to the south.
Roger, we'll push back
HD, I'll
facing
find
south,
you,
we'll
got
keep
that
an eye.
information from them.
I think he's
I'll let
pushing
you know
back
which
further.
chart to,
That's
that I got it
perfect.
from, and you can let me know what's wrong with it. Yakovich for
Ladies and
VATSIM,
gentlemen,
it's the
On
Vpilot
behalf of the
client.
crew, I ask that you please direct your attention to the monitors as we review the emergency procedures. There are 6 emergency exits on the aircraft. Take a minute to locate the one closest to you and note that it may be behind you. Count the number of rows to the exit. Should the cabin experience pressure loss, stay calm and listen for instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat.
Good
Place the
morning,
mask
Russ.
over
Thanks
your
for joining
mouth
us.
and nose like this, and pull the strap to tighten it. If you are traveling
Beautiful
with
weather
children,
here today.
make sure you put your own mask on first before helping others. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave your carry-on luggage and items behind. Life rafts are located below your seats, and emergency lighting in the floors will lead you to the closest exit. We ask that you make sure that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely during the flight. While we wait for takeoff, please take a moment to review the safety procedures on the card in the pocket in front of you. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you enjoy the flight.
Okay, so let's confirm engine 1 stabilized, starting engine 2. quite on the taxi line, but he's not done a bad job there. So let's set those parking brakes. So just waiting for engine 2 to finish. And then we'll get our taxi clearance. Dan H9, I think that's just as the scenery is being downloaded and loading in. Happens to the best of us. So, engine mode can now come off. And we've got confirmation of a good engine start. So engine mode select back to norm. APU bleed can come off. No anti-ice needed. And APU master can come off. Ground spoilers can be armed. Check the rudder, flaps 1, and see what our centre of gravity is. 29.8, something like that. Just double check where we are here. So that's good. Confirmation of trim down 0.4. We're now clear to disconnect. So wave goodbye to the tug driver. After start checklist, anti-ice off. Ecom status checked. Pitch trim is down 0.4. Rudder trim checked 0.0. Okay, so I'm just going to do our flight control check now. Full left, full right, neutral. Full up, full down, neutral. Rudder, full right, full left, and neutral. Alright, so the pushback tug is clear. He's headed back over there. Let's get our taxi clearance. Palmer ground easy 34 Alpha Mike is ready for taxi.
Easy 34 Alpha Mike, taxi via inner Delta north and holding point Hotel 4 runway 06 left.
Taxi via the inner Delta North taxiway to Hotel 4 for 06 left. Easy 34 Alpha Mike. Apologies HD.
Local Tower, speedbird 940, ready for taxi for 06 right.
Speedbird 940, taxi via inner Golf Link South, holding point runway 06 right.
Taxi via inner Golf Link South for runway 06 right, speedbird 940.
So,
Speedbird 464, ready for taxi.
I'm in the north.
Speedbird 464, taxi via Mike South and holding point Hotel 8 runway 06 right.
Mike south and then Hotel 8, Speedbird 464.
And Tower Skyways 5556 ready for taxi.
Sky Travel 5556, taxi behind the traffic, Speedbird. Tape Airbus 320 via Mike south and holding point Hotel 7 runway 06 right.
Roger, follow the Speedbird Mike South Hotel 7 for Skyways 5556.
We'll make a right
Tower,
on to
it's
Delta
ready
in a
for
moment,
pushback
which
and
takes
setup.
us to the north.
Last station calling, can you repeat?
Tower Easyjetsimpilot requesting pushback and startup.
EC854, behind the traffic, taxiing right now via inner. Pushback and startup is approved, facing west.
Facing west, behind traffic, pushback and startup approved, Easyjetsimpilot.
Saturated, why did I choose EasyJet? One, I like flying around Europe, and two, I'm more familiar with EasyJet stops than any other airline. going to have to go into the configuration files to sort that out. HD, not sure why the VATSIM ATC is so loud. The Easyjet livery is available from flightsim.to, however, of course, I've got a slightly modified version of that, thanks to Christian. You can't hear me over them. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so whilst we're taxiing straight down the line here, we can continue setting up. So weather radar and auto brake max. We'll ding our cabin crew.
Cabin crew, seats for takeoff, please.
And TL config. So departure briefing, we've got no change to the performance. We've obviously had a runway change, but that's now all being coded in. Engine out procedure, if we did have a problem here, there's no issues with returning. We're under the maximum landing weight, so absolutely no issues with that. And it's a beautiful day. Why wouldn't we want to return here? Our departure now matches the departure clearance we've got in the FMGC. And step altitude 4,000 feet is correct.
Volotea 944 Charlie, muy buenas tardes, de recibo 5, adelante.
Is checked.
Volotea 944 Charlie, muy buenas, servus 320,
Flat config 1.
Información Bravo.
FMA takeoff data 129.
Pues Volotea 944 Charlie, Bravo es correcto, está autorizado a Zurich, según planeado, sin instrumental. Menos 6 Bravo, pista 06 derecha, inicial serán 6000 pies, responda por favor 62, 61.
Número 6, Bravo 06 derecha, respondiendo 6261. ¿Me confirma la altitud inicial? 4000 estándar o 6000? Volotea 944 Charlie.
Takeoff no blue.
Volotea 944 Charlie, cualquiera me sirve, 4000 o 6000, la que usted desee.
Recibido, pues nada, 4000 inicial, Volotea 944 Charlie.
Volotea 944 Charlie, la colación es correcta.
Burma Tower, good. Afternoon, Contact 81, there's information.
Engine mode
Bravo,
select
request
is
air
norm. We'll start setting up TCAS, TAI.
Condor 81 Delta, good morning. Clear for destination as filed. Departure runway 06 right via Meros 6 Bravo. Initial altitude 6,000 feet and scope is 6260.
7 approved, clear to Hamburg, out of runway 06 right via the Meros 6 Bravo departure, initial time 6,000 feet, score 6260, Con 81 Delta.
Condor 81 Delta.
I'm doing this a little bit ahead of where I should be. I should be getting my clearance, but just so we can get
Speedbird 464,
straight out.
wind 060 degrees, 9 knots, runway 06 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 06 right, Speedbird 464.
I'm going to wait for Speedbird 464 to get out of the way before
EC34 Alpha Mike, runway 06 left, wind 060 degrees, 9 knots, 06 left, clear for takeoff.
Oh, fair enough. Clear for takeoff, runway 06 left, EC34 Alpha Mike.
Tower Easyjet requesting taxi.
Okay, let's go. We've done the before takeoff check with below the line
taxi
already.
via inner Delta North, holding point Hotel 4 runway 06 left.
Taxi via inner Delta North, Hotel 4, Easyjet 4.
Yeah, HD, I was expecting him to maybe line me up and
555
hold me
behind the
to
traffic
wait
on
for a
departure
while.
line up runway 06 right behind.
But as soon as
Behind
he
the
sent us
traffic,
out,
line
he's
up
sending
and
us
wait
over to
06 right,
Unicom.
Fairway 556.
So it's not his problem. But I don't want to be chasing Nick out of here, so we'll just wait for a second. Just gives me a chance as well to check a couple of things. So the packs are off. TO config, no blue. Cabin's already secured for takeoff. TCAS, packs, anti-ice, all checked. Okay. Just wondering if we could see any of our friends taxiing behind us. There's no one on arrival, so I'm not in any rush to depart for their sakes. But I think now he should be out of our way. let's go. So, take off, start the chrono, and 50% and 1. Set flex temp takeoff. Man flex, SRS, and runway.
Vfr 464 Unicom 122.8. Have a nice flight. Bye bye.
Over to Unicom. Thanks. Bye.
Is that bump usually in the runway? V1 rotate.
Lufthansa 3 Bravo, Hotel Bravo is correct, clear for destination as follows. Departure Meadows 6 Bravo, runway 06 right. Initial altitude 6,000 feet, and please squawk 6255.
Lufthansa 3 Bravo Hotel is clear to
Yeah, there's a little bump in the runway, I wasn't expecting that.
06 Bravo, departure, flight plan to the climb 6,000.
I know that we do have nice bumps in the runways here in FlightSim 2020, but maybe not to that
Lufthansa 3
extreme.
Bravo, Hotel Red, that is
Lower the
correct.
nose to 10 degrees and setting climb thrust. Pax can come on. Nice straight out departure. Should wait 10 seconds between those packs. but
EC3
not in
for
the
Alpha
FlightSim.
Mike, Unicom 122.8. Have a nice flight.
Over to Unicom now for 34 Alpha Mike. Bye bye. So over to Unicom. Our initial stop
EC854,
time is
please squawk
4,000 feet.
6254.
Not that that actually matters, given that we're now on Unicom.
6254, EC54.
But we'll just hold that for a moment. Okay, so now let's set a higher altitude here. We'll go 15,000, 15,000 blue, standard pressure, and we can now engage autopilot 1. Autopilot will take care of that. We'll now just jump over to Unicom 122.8. What did I miss, HD? I thought I'd double checked 150 blue. I'm gonna have to rewind that. I thought it. Okay, nice stable there. Let's get that cabin crew released. Oh, it was the climb thrust. Oh, fair enough. Yes, didn't announce it. Climbing at 4,000 feet per minute. The aircraft is holding 250 knots.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may now...
Is that a ruler moment, HD, or is that an advisory ruler
Rechargeable
moment?
battery packs are available for
We need
your
different
smartphones and
levels.
tablets at an additional super chats or super sticker cost. Please ask your cabin crew for more information.
We're tracking the departure route nicely. Coming up at 10,000 feet. Let's get those lights off. And we can go up to our climb altitude, which is flight level 340. Flight level 340 and 340 blue. Past 10,000 feet. Told you we'd have some lovely views for our passengers today. Oh, thank you, HD. I feel a little better now. Hardly any clouds in the sky, and this is real live weather as well. If there's anybody in Palma and who's in the stream, I'm sure you can verify that for us. HD, that's a good point. Hopefully it won't capture 150. It is 340 blue, which we did announce. Jet propelled llamas, you need to have a look if you can find it on my channel. One of the playlists is VATSIM. One of them introduces you to starting on VATSIM for the very first time and basically getting your vPilot client all set up and getting yourself parked at an airport so you can listen to live ATC and also communicating with them. J-Hog, you can indeed. Just going to make sure that we don't stop at 15. I don't think it is. It's going through that to our new flight level 340. Okay, J-Hog, there is the overhead panel. Essentially, nothing on, and that's good. Lead, certainly. You can. Why do we have autopilot 2 on? It's not needed. The only time you'd use both autopilots is on landing. Jet propelled llamas. I don't know if there is an age restriction on VATSIM. It's not something I've looked into. Saab F1, how are you controlling your aircraft? You're not using a X-Pad controller, are you? Make sure your dead zones are set to about 15%. Either way, whether you're using a side stick, yoke, or game controller. Or he was the first officer flying it, yeah. Essentially, both autopilots are used if you're doing an auto land or ILS landing, and obviously pilots share roles. So if this was a two-legged flight, so if this was the outbound leg, maybe the captain would fight. On the inbound leg coming back to Palma, the first officer would fight, in which case the first officer would use autopilot 2. So they just use whichever one is on their side, essentially. J-Hog, you had no engines when starting. Was your APU running? Surely you've just departed on one engine. Intentionally? Passing 20,000 feet. So our performance is cruise 340, ultimate 390, so happy with that. Others get bored after 15 seconds of putting on. What's the minimum HD? Is it 100 feet? I think I've read somewhere, if memory serves correctly. Those screens are certainly darker, aren't they? I like the new glass reflection effects, but they are much darker. And they're turned up full as well, guys. There's nothing I can do to make those any brighter for you. Sam C, you've got the flight sim up and running with them. That's good to know. That can go in the bin. I've finished that drink. I need to go and get another. HD, has my pilot monitoring got a drink? Oh, there you are. You've got your own cup over there, look. If only you could change them both, so we could have an Easyjet cup and a HD cup. That'd be sweet. Okay, let's release those passengers. And this is purely for simulation. The no smoking sign should never be touched, but purely for the simulation, we're turning it just so we get the no portable devices ECAM memo turned off. No smoking should always be on. We might turn that back actually. In fact, we can do that. I like the no portable devices because I think that's what the Neos have. But actually, HD, I think it was Nick that gave us the coffee cup. Nick gave us the coffee cup. If I go into, is it sits? Right, no portable devices. Right, no smoking. So now, should we just flick that back on? There we go. Jet propelled llamas, this is the experimental version. Experimental, so we may still have the ballooning flap effect at when we go flaps 1. Nothing we can do about that. Although I do know the fly-by-wire guys are aware of it, so have they fixed it? Who knows? We'll find out when we land. Okay, so passing flight level 260. And we're just over the med at the moment. Nick, there's your homework. See if you get, see if we can make HD one as well. Of course, it shall have to have the ruler on it, won't it? It's quite nice that HD is not covered in ice this morning. It was about here you saw the UFO. Oh wow. I'm guessing it didn't register on TCAS either. So I'm just going to hop back in. We'll stay in the flight deck until I'm happy that we're at cruising altitude and nothing has gone wrong. And then we can have a little look around. You'd hope, HD, that if it was some sort of army aircraft or even GA plane, the radar would show it. Or if it was a top secret army mission, they would have informed ATC that pilots may see something strange. Don't worry about it. It was definitely airborne. You'll never know now, HD. It's gone. Never know. Oh, Moutsan, I am terribly sorry, but my French is ridiculous. Parlez-vous anglais? Though, you said mercy, so you're welcome. Was it daytime, HD, or was it at night? Could you just see lights, or could you actually see the shape? I'm sure that loads of fellow pilots have also witnessed similar sorts of things. Yeah, J-Hog, anytime. What did Boris announce yesterday? By mid-June we should be back to normal, is that right? Christian, it was Elvis coming back to Earth. So HD was daytime as well. Wow, that is strange. And presumably the person sat next to you also saw it, so you know you're not going crazy. Mouton, your English will be much better than my French, I guarantee that. So just passing flight level 310. Oh, HD, only you witnessed it. Oh well. That's annoying. Six, 7 years ago, but I bet you can still visualise it and remember it like yesterday. Oh, right. So, flight level 320. A couple more 1,000 feet, then we'll do our checks. I'm going to go and grab a refill then from the galley, but then I'll be back with you. Not the longest flight today, so I'll be on the microphone with you again very shortly after that. Chilu, if you depart with just one engine, be prepared to use the whole runway. Most aircraft tend not to depart with one engine unless they specifically plan for it for whatever reason. If you have lost an engine, you can use your trim rudder as well in the air. Oh, go on HD, did you? Tell us you did. So we may have got a picture, mind you, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. How long have the smartphone cameras been out? There's the thrust rolling back as we approach our cruising altitude. Now, Mac green. And we're just about to hit 34,000 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen from the cockpit, once again, just let you know that we reached our cruise level for the flight today. The cabin crew will be making their way around, serving drinks, hot coffee, teas, etc. So if we need any islands clear or items, we might just sit back and enjoy the rest of the flight. Thank you.
Voicey ZA on Twitch. Do I have any affiliation with Alpha TV? Afraid not. APU is off. Cabin temperatures are good. Wheel temperatures are fine. All computers are working. I love that electrical page. Okay. And we're now in alt cruise. We're going to have to get you different coloured rulers, HD, just for the normal and then the advanced level. Alright, so about 18 minutes into the flight, we're currently direct lap it, and should be at lap it in about 25 minutes in. We're actually ahead of schedule. That actually stands to reason. The operational flight plan had us departing in the opposite direction, didn't it? So we've flown straight out, so slightly shorter, which is quite nice. And we've got about 900 kilograms of extra fuel on board compared to the minimums. HD advanced level t-shirt. I'll have to get those made up. All proceeds to HD's computer fund. Give you a bit of a Vfr map as well, so you guys can have a look where we're heading. We'll also have a look in a moment at what that approach looks like. So we should be back over mainland Europe, not too far away. HD or a special one-off t-shirt for about £800. So in terms of our, not our alternates, but basically want to check en route weather, see what's happening. I think everything's going absolutely fine, to be fair. Step climb's going over France. Let's just have a look. According to the flight plan, no, we're 340 all the way. If FlightSim's got that right. If FlightSim's got that right, we should be fine. check some en route weathers then. So you'll see menu, weather request. Obviously we still can't change these two, I'm afraid. But we could see what Girona is looking like. Lima Echo, Golf Echo. And we can also have a look and see what Marseille is doing. We're passing over Marseille, so let's look. Got the choice of Marseille or Nice, but we're closer to Marseille, so if we needed to dump there, Lima Fox Mike Lima, Lima Fox Mike Lima. Send those off. Moves on. Thank you very much. Hope the videos do help. Just trying to make it as realistic as possible for everyone that wants to fly. As realistic as you can. Carlo, the heading features worked for as long as I can remember, even without the fly-by-wire mod. So the heading feature, yeah, that's not really been an issue for a while, or if indeed ever. Just remember, if you want to go into heading mode though, you have to pull control back. So just to quickly show you, we're on a heading, a nice straight line heading, so I can do this. So we're currently in manage mode, or what some of you guys may know as nav mode, following the navigation computer. But if I wanted to select my own heading, you need to pull the heading bug, and now you can change the heading to where you want it to go. I'm going to pop that back into manage mode now, so we continue to follow the green line and read the FMA, because we'd go from nav mode to heading, of course. Leonard, you're planning runway 34, are you? We're planning runway 14, just because that's the runway that I saw them using this morning. That company message should have come through, but I'm not expecting there to be any bad weather over Europe at all, really. Look at how small these METARs are. So Zurich at the moment, it's variable, 1 knot, ceiling and visibility is okay. Still high pressure, 1036, with no significant changes. Girona has actually got overcast clouds, but again, no winds, great visibility. Marseille, light wind, ceiling and visibility okay, high pressure. They're expecting wind to become southerly at 10 knots, but what a great day for flying over Europe. So if you've got nothing else to do today, go and enjoy the views over Europe. Now, have they implemented yet? No, they haven't. So we were looking at this a while ago about how difficult it was to scroll up and down this load sheet. I'm not even sure if they've altered that or not yet. But they're looking at basically adding a scroll bar over here on the right hand side, I think, so you can just scroll up and down rather than trying to move it around. To be fair, even if I could click and drag it, that would be quite nice, but a scroll bar would be fine. Is Moblo on the flight plan? Let me have a look for you, HD. I know that's one of your favourite waypoints for your MORAs. I don't think it is. Oh, correction, no it is. About 1 hour 10 minutes in, yep, we're at Moblo. Yeah, so there's your minimum off-route altitude, flight level 170. Ouch. Let's hope we don't have any decompressions there, shall we? Christian, that's true. I don't usually like flying at night, and I'm always a little bit anxious about doing a stream while using real weather in an evening, because obviously it's done at night time. Because a lot of people don't like night flights, there's nothing to look out and see, but this simulator changes on Is that where you do your little PA HD, currently over the highest mountain in Europe? Is the microphone being drowned out today, Casper, by the engine sounds? Actually, I may have turned those up for a test I was doing. Hang on a sec. Is that any better? Hopefully that should be better. I'm in the process of changing this microphone because it's on its way out. Mason, can I do another plane spotting? Do you know what? They are great tools there. Just plonking yourself at a nice busy airport, listening to VATSIM, which is usually more busy than a real airport at the moment, unfortunately. But for those of you that are wanting to get on with learning VATSIM and the communications, I'm happy to leave those videos streaming. I'm not always watching and I'm not always there. I'm usually monitoring the chat room, but I'm happy to leave those streaming if people like it, and I'm happy for it to go ahead. So, beautiful fluffy white clouds today over Europe. Learn skills with Rish. The problem with going outside and doing it at our local airport is all our local airports are dead. There's no aircraft flying. There's nothing to watch. Or very, very little. Alright guys, I'm just going to go and grab myself a nice hot drink and I shall be back with you. Well, I'll be back with you in the chat room very shortly. I'll be back with you on the microphone very shortly as well. Talk through our approach. Both me and HD are leaving at the same time. Okay, autopilot, don't let us down. I shall be back in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve our drinks selection, including tea, coffee and cold beverages. Please make sure your tray table is in the down position and clear any items from the aisle. As this is a paid-for service, please consider tipping your cabin crew with stickers and super chats. Thank you.
And we're back with a drink refill. Alright, so I've just been looking over the approach charts. I'm glad to say, HD, I've just decided to do the same as what I've just seen you pop in the chat. GIPL and then OSNEM. So I'm just going to see how that's already coded in. So if we just scroll down here. So there's GIPL. And then is OSNEM there? Yes, it is. So we'll just basically do a direct once we do that. So how are we going to manage the descent then? So what we can do is, if we want our nice gentle descent, about 1500 feet per minute, which is quite nice, we can use the performance chart, the top of descent calculator, which I've tested out in the last 2 or 3 flights, and it actually works really, really nicely. So if we get the current altitude, HD, yeah, you never do what the chart says in real life. I presume, though, if you'd got a radio communications failure, you could potentially then do what it says, and the ATC would know, hopefully, what it was you were doing. They normally have missed or lost comms in the charts anyway, don't they? Alright, so I want to be at GIPL by 7,000 feet. So we'll just type that in there. And just clear that 3-degree angle. So if we have a nice nice steady descent rate of 1500, and I'm going to slow down as well a little bit, so to about 270 knots, which is usually, just look at the ground speed, a bit of wind as well, not too much wind today, slight tailwind, so we can reduce that. HD is a good thing that rarely happens. Don't know why it does that. It's just change that to a ground speed of about 400. And then, oops, wrong button. So what did I say? 7,000 feet. I'm still getting to grips with how this actually works things out. 7,000 feet, ground speed 400. So I want to start about 120 miles away, but that's the descent rate. That's a very, very easy descent rate of 1,500 feet per minute. So just gliding us down nicely. So I'm happy to take that. And of course, at the moment, we still don't actually get a... we haven't got the possibility of programming it in here, so we can't get a distance to it. We have to use the range rings. That's a little dog-legged approach. Had I seen that earlier, we'd have gone direct. Give the passengers a decent chance to get a view, though, doesn't it? Ah, the rapper, good morning. Can't hang around. Are you working? Alright, so let's just see how far we are away from that top of descent. We're not going to be that far, as I say. It's not a particularly long flight today. Let me just clear the airports off the EFIS for a moment. Oh, HD, that confused me for a minute there. Yeah, Gavin, the bright light. So, I don't know if any of you guys have seen the sort of like the advanced rear ops tutorial series that I'm currently in the middle of making. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff like that. At the moment, I think there's 5 videos on there. 5 videos on there. I think another one's about to be released this week, talking about the takeoff and climb to cruise. We can then, there'll be a couple more, and then when it comes to landing, there's going to be all sorts of different tutorials. There's going to be doing the normal ILS landings, the RNAV landings, the charts, reading the charts, SID stars, but also, of course, you have to remember the things that we've got to take into account for flights in 2020, where it does very strange things sometimes. So we need to flag those up as well. HD, there is an option to select no via, but guess what? It doesn't work. It will always take you over a via, unfortunately. One of my other bugbears. What I can try and do, I don't think this is going to work, but I'm going to try and do it because we're far enough away out to rescue it if we had to. So can I actually get rid of some of these? So if let's just clear, relax. Will that work? No. See, I can't clear them. It's because they're fixed in as part of the stars. Stars and STIDs you can't edit. Actual en route waypoints you can. So we're just going to go from Gipol direct to Osnem. And does this, see the actual altitude constraints are correct. Although, if we have a look at that, at Gipol, where have you gone? So Gipol has a flight level of 070. Realistically, I think that should be flight level above 070. Is that right? Yeah. So that should technically, I don't know if I can edit that. Plus 7,000 feet. That's a flight level actually. So we just change that 070. Oh, that has changed. What I could do then, HD, is as you just tried, typing it underneath doesn't work exactly as it should, but what you can do, or what I should be able to do, is after Gipol, I have to actually go into it and select it as the next waypoint. I can't just type it under. So after Gipol, can I then add? This may not work because it's part of the star, and stars in the flight sim don't like to be messed with. Oscar Sierra November Echo Mike. Let's see if it'll let me put it in that way. Osnem is in twice, but it's not in the right place twice. Where's Gipol disappeared to? It's disappeared entirely now. I'm going to erase that. Yeah, it's still messed up. I'm going to erase that. I'm just going to have to go direct after we reach the final approach fix. As we do it, the minimum safe altitude over to the west where we will be descending is 4,500 feet. That's fine, because we're going to be at 4,000 feet by the time we get to Osnem. So unfortunately it's just one of those simisms. Nothing we can do, unfortunately. But we have a plan, that's the main thing. So we're planning an arrival. In fact, let me just bring this VFR map down, because it's perhaps a little bit easier to see it on here than it is the navigation screens. So we just, can I make that bigger? So you can obviously see where we're tracking at the moment. So the plan is then for our arrival, and just zoom in. After Gipol, instead of flying all the way around here to the waypoint relax, we're not going to relax. Haha, see what I did there? We're going to go direct from Gipol to Osnem. And Osnem is essentially the start of the ILS approach. So we'll basically fly a nice arc between Gipol and Osnem. Because the track mileage then, HD, I would imagine between Gipol, well, the track mileage between Gipol to the airport is 32 miles. We're going to have to lose 3,000 feet. That would be as if we were going to the actual airport. So we're probably, I'm just guesstimating here, looking at those distances, I've probably got about 20 miles to get down to 4,000 feet by Osnem. So as long as we're nice and steady, speed-wise, we need to be aware of it and plan for it. The other thing that throws us throws a small spanner into the works is when I go flaps 1, I can expect to gain about 1,000 feet of altitude unless I can manage that. That is another sim bug. I would be quite tempted to throw flaps 1 quite early on. I managed it yesterday. Basically, when you go flaps 1, the aircraft gains far too much lift. Which then, for some reason, as it does that and it pitches up, the engines spool up, you gain about 1,000 feet per minute climb. So one of the things I did yesterday when I was trying it out was I turned auto thrust off, reduced the thrust power, through flaps 1, let the aircraft control its lift rate, its VS rate, and then once it had settled down, I re-engaged the auto thrust. Not something you would have to do in real life. And as HD has just said, given the terrain that is all around us, the radio altimeter is going to be flapping away at us. Let me get rid of that now, or at least shrink it back down a little bit. So we're starting that descent to Gippal, about 120 miles away, so we've got time to just relax for a moment. What I do need to do is get some weathers, and then we can punch them in to the FMGC. So let's get those. I'm also going to check, no air traffic control is online, is it? No, it's not. Christian, when did you download that experimental version, mate? I downloaded it yesterday, probably about 0900 Zulu time. That's good knowledge to have, HD. Of course today it probably wouldn't throw us off too much because the weather's decent and we can see outside the window, but if you were doing this at night, or if you were doing this in a cloudy approach, you'd probably want to be checking things, wouldn't you? So the landing elevation of the airport is 1,402. Oh, Christian, you did it yesterday evening. Right, well, they were talking about trying to fix the experimental version, so maybe they found a way to do it, and I've downloaded this version this morning, so we'll see how we get on with that. So let's get our little weather. Say something in Danish, eh? Flight Simmer, are you insane? I have all on with English. Alright, so let's come down here and pop the info into the performance page. HD, yeah, you should know some Danish, shouldn't you, given your recent or past working history. QNH 1035, so again, nice high pressure. Temperature is 12 degrees. Steve Austin, guess we'll find out when I try and land at Zurich in a few minutes. Wind is variable, so we're landing runway 14. wind variable at 2, transition altitude 7,000 feet. Minimum descent altitude is 1602, so exactly 200 feet above the runway touchdown zone. VAP speed 126. So as HD said earlier on, given the radio altimeter is not going to be working correctly, well, it will be working correctly, but giving us off-putting readings, use the barrow of 2,400 and 1,900 for our 1,500 feet call-outs. And then here then, guys, are the beautiful mountains of the Alps. Excuse me while I have another quick drink. I was very disappointed. I just went out back to the galley and they've run out of jam and tea toast. So I'm gutted. No toast and jam flavoured tea for me anymore. Toby, MDA is the minimum descent altitude, so you shouldn't descend any lower than that altitude if you are not visual with the runway and the approach. Is the Nightbot on one? I apologise, Flight Simmer. He can get a bit touchy. Ready, Ian, anything new being tested today? Do you know what, Ian? Well, we're going to do a stream this evening, and as we're doing a real ops flight this morning, I may look at doing a test flight this evening. There will be an evening stream tonight then, guys, so short flight this morning and then evening stream tonight, so do join me for that one. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell if you haven't done so already. Zealous. Okay, Flight Sim, how can we describe Zealous? A little bit over anxious, a little bit too over the top in what it's doing. Keen. Spy, that's a good translation for you. So as we fly over the Alps now, what I'm expecting is we'll probably get a little bit of rocking from side to side as we get some wind over the Alps. We're 34,000 feet up, but the weather effect here in the sim is really, really good. Can have a quick look outside as well if you wish. And this beautiful weather that we're having today, there's not a cloud in sight. Usually when there's not a cloud in sight, I have to wonder if my live weather's working, but this is actually accurate at the moment. So here we go. If I just zoom in on the VFR map, there's Moblo. Once we pass there, that is the highest point. One of the things we need to be aware of course, if you have got the operational flight plan, I'll just share that again for you in case any of you have come in late. But because of the terrain below us, then our minimum off-route altitude is 17,000 feet, so if we had a decompression we had to get down to 10,000 feet quickly, then we'd need to head over to the west, get out of the way. We can't just target 10,000 feet. I see what you did there, HD. You and me both, my spelling's atrocious. Willie, good morning. Short flight for you today, Willie. You may miss us. Beautiful cabin and engine sounds. So not far now before I start that nice gentle top of descent. We're going to start at 120 miles away, nice gentle descent at 1,500 feet per minute. I want to be able to lose speed quite quickly when we arrive, particularly in case that flaps issue has not been sorted. Right, HD. I'm going to see if there's a way I can do that for you. I'll message you. Any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Any landing you can use the aircraft again. Excellent. I'm on the experimental, Steve, as I've downloaded this morning, so should be the latest.
Ladies and gentlemen, flight anchors laid so we're starting our descent to our destination, at which point the captain will start preparing the aircraft for our arrival so you can make sure the hours get there of any baggage. The seatbelt signs will also shortly be going on, so if you need to use the toilets, please do so now before we pop those on for your safety. Thank you very much for your cooperation, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Alright, so on the navigation display, let me zoom in so you can see that. On the navigation display you can see that we're just a little under 120 miles away from Schiphol. However, track miles wise we're okay. We're just about to pass over Mont Blanc. There it is. So I'm just turning away from that now. Quick view there out to the right-hand passenger view. SPY, or SBY, however you prefer to be called. Live weather is not broken. This is Europe at the moment. There isn't a cloud in the sky. High pressure all over Europe, so this is quite true to life. Okay then guys, so we're going to set 7,000 feet and transition level also 7,000. So set the QNH, which I believe was what was it, 1035. 7,000 blue. Set that descent rate as I calculated, 1,500 feet, and just roll that speed back. And down we go. So I'm just checking, I can't see any air traffic control online to come up and mess with us. Thank God. VS minus 1,500. And we already did the FMA 7,000. Local pressure set. To be honest, I have very few mods. I really do. Oh, and thrust idle. I forgot the thrust idle. Jonas, the people in green are members of the Easyjetsimpilot channel. You can now join up as a member, receive extra perks. Check those out. This flight is going to Zurich. Yeah, so the FMA at the moment, we've got thrust idle, VS speed of minus 1,500 feet per minute, and 7,000 feet with local pressure QNH. Few bumps and bangs as we continue over the Alps. Not too turbulent. The cabin crew will be packing away anyway now as we're on our way down. The Muffin Man. Yes, I know the Muffin Man, who lives on Drury Lane. One 035. I like that, HD. You do it to confirm the autopilot is doing what you ask. There's no guarantee. Okay, so the weather and landing information has been received, and we can of course also get this on here as well now if we just want to double check that. Yeah, so seeing the visibility is fine. Still 1035. That's beautiful. That's good to see that the map has just updated. That wasn't right a moment ago. Gordon Laker, we're off to Zurich. We're not that far away, to be fair. Less than half an hour away. So the FMGC, we've prepared everything. Let's just double check the RadNav has populated as well. 111.75. Good, it's pulled in the ILS frequency. We will also need the we shall also need, just for the missed approach, if required, we will also need the Zulu Uniform Echo, Zulu, the Zurich East VOR. So we shall pop that in, turn that on. Just to help with our distance from the airport, of course, we can also put the Clutton VOR in, which is Kilo Lima Oscar. 80 miles away. So slowing down to 270 knots while we continue our descent into Zurich. Schiphol is now about 60 miles away. Probably about 60, probably about 70 track miles. And let's just go over a couple more things. So the landing elevation, remember, is 1,402. We've got hills on the approach, so radio altimeter could give us sporadic readings. So use the checks with the Barrow reference for our descent altitudes. FMGC is coded in as well as it can be. We are going to have to make a direct from Schiphol to Osnem. Schiphol 7,000 feet, then following that descending down to 4,000 feet by Osnem. At Osnem then we should be able to capture the ILS approach. Auto brake not required. Beautiful day, no rain, no contaminated runway, and it's a nice long runway as well. However, we are going to pop the terrain radar on, because I don't think the weather's going to be any kind of threat here today, is it? So 23,000 feet, let's get those seatbelt signs on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, so you are free to move about the cabin. However,
I haven't.
please
I've just
don't
turned them
forget
back on.
to fasten
Silly
your
self-loading
seatbelts
cargo.
4 times when you are seated in case of turbulence. Thank you.
Okay, the standby QNH is also set. ECAM status
The captain
is
has
checked.
turned on the seatbelt
Engine mode
sign.
selector will be normal.
Please fasten your seatbelts as
Cabin
soon
crew will
as
start
possible.
preparing for landing. Seatbelts are on. Approach checklist. Minimums are in 1602. And as I've just said, engine mode select will be norm, and the electronic flight bag is stowed. And my cup still has tea in it. We will, of course, one thing I did miss in the briefing, as nice as that was to hear HD, one thing I did miss in the briefing is we must remember the potential bugs that could come in with the simulator. So, number one is the aircraft could at any point turn direct to the runway threshold. So we need to keep checking at the top of the navigation display where it currently says we're direct to Dope Hill, which is good. At any point that could turn us towards the runway threshold. If that happens, we just need to pull that Henning bug and let's just reconfigure. The other thing it could do when selecting flaps 1 is it could balloon us up to 1,000 feet per minute climb. We don't want that to happen either. I'm hoping, from what some of you have said in the chat, that may have been eradicated. So I guess we shall find out. Joel, this flight's very soon to finish. We're not far away from landing. If you haven't done that already, guys, please do me a favour, hit the like button on the stream for me. That would be grand. Yeah, so setting the dead zones, that's quite important here in the flight sim. Stops your peripherals, your joysticks, your yokes, your rudder pedals, etc. fighting with the autopilot. So set them to between 50 and 20%, and that tends to clear up quite a few things.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may notice we have begun our descent into our destination. We're not expecting any further delays or traffic in front of us in the next few minutes, so you do assist the cabin please by tidying your trays, handling the back, and putting any litter in the bags provided. For safety reasons, please turn off all electronic devices and switch them to airplane mode until we have landed. Please also note that the aircraft toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Down we come, and again, if you just check out the Vfr map, you'll see the point we're aiming for at the moment, Schiphol, 7,000 feet by there. Start our descent down to 4,000 feet, and we're going to go direct to Osnem, intercept the ILS, and hopefully have a pleasant landing at Zurich. That's the plan anyway, guys. just check that there's no been any QNH updates. No, 1035, that is still correct. Steve, I recommend self-loading cargo. They're going to be doing an update, I think. That was due last week, but then the flight simulator release update got delayed. So then that obviously changed. And then they've delayed the release again, I believe, just because they're obviously trying to make sure it all works with the simulator update. Christian, copy and paste. Have I missed something? So I'm just wanting to keep an eye on our speed. By the time we get to Osnam, I'd like to pretty much almost be at our the start of activating the approach phase, just because those flaps still concern me until I've checked that they actually work. Yeah, those uncontained engine failures. What's the chance of two of those happening? Two major aircraft on the same day. Yes, HD, we did the approach checks. Even to the point where we checked the electronic flight bag was stowed. Still keeping an eye on VATSIM, just to make sure air traffic control doesn't come online. What I haven't actually got up is VATSPY. Let me open that and just see what traffic is around us. It'll be great when TCAS works for VATSIM. That doesn't work at the moment, sadly. So let's just zoom in here and see what we can see. Oh, actually, there doesn't look to be too much traffic around. However, I will just make a quick call on Unicom. Zurich traffic Easy34 Alpha Mike is currently 20 miles to the south of the field, planning arrival runway 14. Okay, so let's start on that speed right down now as we turn direct to Schiphol. And we can get those flaps deployed as well. Not the flaps, sorry, the spoilers. Slow us down. We'll also get the landing lights out as we start to pass 10,000 feet. And then after Schiphol, we're going to make a right-hand turn and go direct to Osnam. Yeah, Lewis, you don't want to slow down too early. That just wastes energy that the aircraft's got. MFS pilot, yes, there is a night stream tonight.
Zurich traffic, Swiss, Vfr Echo stands Alpha 42, full stop.
The tablet is available in the flight deck in either the dev build or the experimental build.
Zurich traffic, constant side Michael Bay, taking to runway 24, holding point to Takeoff 8 via November, link to investigate.
Yeah, to be fair, HD, whilst we've not got VNav working, this little top of descent calculator is great. So you obviously you need to take winds into consideration and things like that, but if I say, like I did for this flight, I just wanted to descend at 1500 feet per minute to get us nice and steady, then it does. It seems to be bang on. What are we, 9 miles away? We're at 8,000 feet. Actually, we're at flight level 080, but we'll soon be at 7,000 feet. Yeah, I'd say about 25 miles, because we're 17.5 miles from the airfield VOR, which is Kilo Lima Oscar. Okay, I'm now going to activate the approach phase, as I want to check this flap setting. So there's the approach phase, and manage speed. We've got the ILS information populated as well, so that's fine. Ah, 3 green. Glad I could be of help. So the ILS, we're 18.5 miles away. So this is now turning us direct to relax. Instead, I'm going to quickly go direct to, where are we, Osnem. Hope that works. Select that, and we can now start our descent down to 4,000 feet. So that's now turning us, as expected, down to 4,000 feet. What I am going to do is I'm going to go flaps 1. Let's see what happens. I may have a problem here, a sim issue. So flaps 1 speed check. Let's just get those spoilers down a minute. Okay, so let's go flaps 1. See what happens with the lift. Are we still going direct Osnem? That's leveling itself out. I'm just watching us start to climb a little bit. My thrust levers aren't in the correct detent. That actually worked a lot better than I expected it to. HD, it doesn't remove the rest of the flight plan still, unfortunately. That's good to know. Those flaps didn't do what it was doing yesterday, so that's good. That's really good. So 4,000 blue, thrust idle.
Zurich traffic is Vfr inbound ILS, approach for runway 14.
Zurich traffic, Swiss, Vfr Echo, taxi holding point Alpha 1 runway 28 via November Foxtrot at Alpha.
Zurich traffic, constant side Michael Bay, holding point Echo 8, waiting for the landing aircraft.
So that'll get us down to 4,000 feet, which is the platform altitude. Speed will then start to reduce. That's looking good. Boy, I'm glad that flaps problem's been sorted. I can fly the experimental version and be happy again now. Those rule of threes are starting to sink in, HD.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for landing.
So there's the radio altimeter alive, but we know just because of the terrain that you can see outside of the windows, it's very bumpy. That's going to be bouncing up and down. 4,000 feet HD at Osnem. Which we're about 5 miles to go until we intercept that. And then that is actually the ILS track. So let's get a little bit closer because we're going to intercept that at quite an angle. Just want to quickly check VATSIM. There was an aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh no, he must have landed. That's fine.
Please make sure you are seated with your belts fastened and your trays in the upright position. Any items should be safely stored, and remember to turn off all electronic devices until after landing.
Okay, so on the approach phase as glide slope is active, but the localizer should start to come in as well. So we've got glide slope blue, lock blue, hoping for the lock green in a moment. If not, we're just going to have to chase that glide slope down a little bit. But 4,000 feet at Osnem should be correct. That's where the glide slope intercepts. Aircraft is now starting to make that turn to the next waypoint, which will actually help. However, is it going to capture the localizer, which should be on that line? Where is it going to? Ah, right, okay. Oh, there we go. It has intercept. It has caught the localizer. That's fine. It's also caught the glide slope. Touch and go there for a minute, as it has started to turn us to a waypoint that was behind us. Another sim issue. So we can go flaps 2. Let's get the gear down. Slow down a little bit. Flaps 2.
Danke dir. Then Zurich traffic was when Flight Mike Hotel, Takeoff runway 34 by Echo 8.
Zurich traffic, Easy 34 Alpha Mike is 6 miles out to land runway 14. There's the hill that HD was talking about. So we've obviously got good visual contact. Let's get the spoilers armed. Let's get flaps 3 speed check. Ding that cabin. And flaps full. 4 miles to run.
Zurich traffic is 34 Echo, line up and wait, runway 28.
So 1,000 feet. Okay, so we can now take autopilot off. Going around altitude is 4,000 feet. Landing, checklist, signs are on, cabin ready, spoilers armed, flaps full, auto thrust speed. A little late with those landing checks. land. Continue.
With traffic, speedbird
Reverse
940 is 30 miles inbound Giphall at flight level 80470, expecting ILS runway 14.
Speed reducing.
Storage traffic Easyjetsimpilot is 10 miles from
80 knots.
Zurich,
Reverse off.
inbound ILS runway for 14.
I can vacate to the right in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zurich. The local time is 13:38. Unfortunately, the temperature is currently a very cold 0 degrees Celsius.
0 degrees,
or
of
32
course.
Fahrenheit, so if you have a jacket or coat, you might want to put it on before exiting the aircraft.
Past the
Please
stop
remain
line,
seated until
get out of the way,
aircraft
and then we
arrives
shall
at the gate.
configure.
You are reminded to keep all electronic devices switched off until you have entered the airport terminal. Thank you for flying with Easyjet.
Zurich traffic, runway 14 vacated. Okay, so let's get the TCAS off. Let's get the weather radar off. Let's start the APU. Let's get the landing lights off. Runway turn off lights off. Strobe lights off.
Echo. Takeoff runway 28, so it's 3 whiskey departures, climbing 5 star.
Oh, right. Where are we going? It's not a custom airport, this, guys. So, as I've got to be out of here in about 10 minutes or so, we're just going to go to the closest gate that we can find. So do me a favour, guys, if you enjoyed that, please do hit the like button. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell, and we'll be back with another live stream flight tonight.
Storage traffic Easyjetsimpilot at 6 miles from airport inbound.
There's the Swiss taking off there. You can just see we're going behind the terminal. And for those of us that are flying with me, we're just going to Dock E, the remote terminal. I'm waiting to hear the reasoning now, HD. Let's get those taxi lights off. Yeah, so this is just default, by the way, guys. This isn't anything specific about this airport. It's just the default Microsoft flights in 2020 airport.
940, we're going to slide in behind you. We are 16 from Giphall.
Roger, speedbird
Parking brakes
940, we
are
should
on.
be okay on spacing. I will speed up to the last possible second.
And engines can now come off.
No
Closing
problem.
down engine 1, closing down engine 2. Seatbelt signs can come off. Oh, the logbook's about to open. Sorry, guys. Really do wish they'd get rid of that. Okay. Seatbelts coming off. We can now contact ground services. Beacon light can come off. And we'll get that jetway connected. We'll start getting the baggage and the passengers unloaded. Right, guys, short flight this morning, but hope you enjoyed that.
Zurich ground Airbus Golf. Echo Zulu Golf Sierra, could you please send the baggage?
Airbus Golf. Echo Zulu Golf Sierra. We don't know where the baggage is.
We don't know where the baggage is. try that again, shall we?
Ground Airbus Golf, Echo Zulu Golf Sierra, could you please send the baggage?
Airbus Golf. Echo Zulu Golf Sierra baggage is on the way.
Main door is open, cargo door is open, off they go. Okay guys, successful flight, great landing into Zurich. Always nice to get a decent landing after a flight, however long the flight is. We will be back tonight with another live stream, so look forward to doing that one. Don't know what we're doing yet, haven't decided, but do check us out for that, and hopefully we'll have nice weather like we did for this flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, I hope you enjoyed your flight with us today. On behalf of myself, Gavin, the first officer, the cabin crew, and everybody else in the chat room, we wish you a safe, pleasant journey from the airport, and we hope to see you again soon with the Easyjetsimpilot. Thank you for flying with us today, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Okay guys, I will see you this evening. Thanks for watching. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. Thank you to everyone for liking the stream as well before departing. And a huge thank you to all our channel members and those that have given donations and contributed to the channel via the super chats, super stickers, and the PayPal link as well. Thanks very much everyone. I will see you all again this evening for another flight. Have a great day.